there are many claims regarding whether Tolstoy was a Muslim or not. These claims actually began with the publication of his book Prophet Muhammad, which carried his signature. This book quickly rose to the top of the bestseller list. Was it trying to convey some hidden knowledge to us? Lev Nikolayevich Tolstoy, who held an important place in the world press and was known for his attitude towards religion, did he choose to become a Muslim shortly before his death? Or are all these just mere claims? While religious circles claim that Tolstoy was a secret Muslim due to his anarchist attitude and conflicts with the church, some researchers have spent their lives trying to prove the opposite by demonstrating that Tolstoy was a deist and criticized Islam. So, who is the real Tolstoy? Let's find out. Tolstoy was born in 1828 into a wealthy noble family with a noble father and a princess mother. However, he lost both of them at an early age. As a person who dedicated himself to reading and education, Tolstoy traveled to various regions for his education and devoted himself to writing. Known for his works such as War and Peace, Anna Karenina, and many other significant works, this individual spent half of his life establishing the foundations of his belief philosophy. If we say that the following sentences he wrote in his diary at the age of 24 provide some clues about his beliefs, we wouldn't be mistaken. I have made a brief formulation of my principles. I believe in one thing, the beautiful God, the immortality of the soul, and the eternal punishment we will face for our actions. I do not understand the mystery of the Trinity and the birth of God's Son, but I respect my ancestors' beliefs and do not reject them. Due to his opposition to the government, after being excommunicated by the Orthodox Church, these sentences related to religion were left behind. One who sets out on the path of Christianity with an excessive love for the truth, travels while loving his sect or church and ultimately arrives at loving oneself more than anything else. His encounter with Islam coincides with the years 1844 to 1845. His journey, which began with reading 1001 Nights in his childhood, continued with studying Oriental studies at the Arab and Turkish faculty of Kazan University, established by Tsar Alexander I, in 1905. His first contact with Muslims was through Sheikh Shamal's Muridism movement. From Muridism, it is understood that Tolstoy, who wrote about the Kazakhs and Haji Murat, saw Islam as a spiritual journey. These were also the years when the Volga Tatars and the Bashkirs were under attack by Russian imperialism. Kazan experienced a significant missionary movement after the occupation. Alongside colonization, Christianization was also carried out. It is said that Tolstoy raised the flag against the church. Moreover, this situation was a great source of morale for the Tatars as well. During this period, Tolstoy started correspondence with the Kazan Tatars. Many sources confirm this. Tolstoy received support and solidarity not only from the Kazan Tatars but also from the entire community. He used the expression, "I highly appreciate my spiritual relationships with Muslims." While explaining Islam during his research on religion, he makes a distinction between faith and trust. What you call faith is actually trust, that is, recognizing the words of a recognized person as true. All religions are based on this trust. There are thousands of these trusts that contradict each other, and that is why all the evils in the world come from this trust. True faith is only the belief that acknowledges the existence of the supreme command, the God I came from and will return to, the God for whom I lived and of whom I am a part. When Tolstoy began researching religions, he also came into contact with people from various religious movements. Among them were the Baha'is and the Ahmadis, who had Muslim origins. Despite having interactions with many Muslims, it did not make him a Muslim nor did it make him opposed to Islam. He simply believed that Islam had developed more naturally compared to Christianity. In addition, Tolstoy, who conducted numerous readings on religion, had certainly also researched Islam. One of these works was Vladimir Sergeyevich Solovyov's The Life of Muhammad and His Religious Teachings. Furthermore, after the publication of Suhrawardy's work The Sayings of Muhammad, Tolstoy translated this book into Russian. In this book, he emphasized justice and equality through the lens of Islam. Tolstoy's book on the life of Muhammad, which emerged through his own interpretations by conveying the sayings of Prophet Muhammad and his admiration for Islam, was attempted to be kept secret. We know how significant Tolstoy was as an individual. In his time, he was seen as a divine force, and if he had become a Muslim, it could have generated strong sympathy and curiosity towards the Islamic religion in Russian society. That's why this book always remained a hidden book. It was first published in the Azerbaijani press in 1978. The book mentions a Russian woman named Valeria Porokova, who married an Arab and embraced Islam. Porokova states that Tolstoy accepted Islam in his final years and requested to be buried in the ground like Muslims. Interestingly, this woman, who also claims that she was buried according to Islamic customs, adds that there is no cross at her gravesite. The fact that the Soviet governments have kept this truth hidden for years, fearing the increasing interest in Islam among Russians, is revealed with this book. In essence, we cannot be certain whether Tolstoy became a Muslim or not. However, based on his writings and what is said about him, it can be inferred that even if he did not embrace Islam, his views and perspective on life were very close to Islam.